For number 2, they tell us that the perimeter of a rectangle is 16 centimeters. What is the width of the rectangle if its length is 5 centimeters? So when we have perimeter, we can think of rim. Rim, first of all, is round, and so it's not going to be square units, it's just going to be plain units. So it might be feet or centimeters or yards. And once again, when we look at a rim and think about a rim, we don't think about the inside. All there is to a rim is the outside. So that's what we're doing here. We've got a rectangle, and I'm just going to draw one, not to scale, but I'm drawing a rectangle over here. And it tells us that all the way around this rectangle is 16 centimeters. They tell us that the length is 5. The length is 5. So they're going to want the width. So they're going to want these right here. So perimeter is adding all the sides together. So a couple ways we can do perimeter. We can say perimeter equals the 5 plus the 5 plus, then we have one width plus another width. And we actually do have one that goes particularly for this, but we'll use this first and then use the other. So now we can actually do 5 plus 5. Perimeter equals 10 plus, and then we have two W's here. So W plus W, which we don't know either of those. Now, we're told that this has a perimeter of 16 centimeters. So we know that this is 16, and 16 equals 10 plus, and we know that this here has to be a 6, but there are two things that are added together. So if all together this adds up to a 6, this has to be a 3 there and a 3 there. So the width is 3, the width is 3. So we have 5, then 8, then we're going to have 13, then 14, 15, 16. So that gives us our 16 centimeters. So therefore, we know the width is going to be equal to 3 centimeters. Okay. Now, we also for that one do have an actual formula that goes for this. This is still number 2. Perimeter of a rectangle is 2 length plus width. Because once we know that this is 10, we automatically know what this is. And once we know what this one is, then we know what this one is. So if this one were 10 and this one here, we know it's now to be 3, but we know that if this is 13, that the whole thing would have to be 26. Okay? So because this is 13, which would mean these two would also have to equal 13. So if we know what these two are, we can just multiply it times 2. So in this case, we were told that the perimeter was 16 centimeters. So we have 16 centimeters here, and that equals 2 times the length. Our length was, on this one, 5 centimeters plus the unknown width. And we know that 16 actually equals 2 times 8. So that means in here this has to be 8. So 16 equals 2, and 5 plus 3 would be 8. So that's telling us that the width, once again, for this one, not the one we did down here for the example, the width for this one would end up being 3.